What happens when a group of paranormal investigators start a conversation? You get Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. Tales of the dead, the bizarre, and all things supernatural. Join us now as we have a random stream of consciousness. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hi, and welcome back to Ghost of the Coast Paranormal, the podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Lydia.
And Deborah's not here. That's so weird. Like, I always wait for it. I wait for it. Anytime she's not
It
here,
just
I wait
sounds
for it.
so incomplete without her.
And I'm Deborah. Yeah, Deborah is not here today. She is hanging out with family this weekend. And yeah, like I just said, it was the weekend. We're recording this on the weekend. We had an episode for you guys. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good episode. And Spirit, Universe, whoever decided they did not want to be discussed. And our whole episode was kind of, I don't even know the word for it. Sabotage. Straight up sabotaged. It was probably about an hour-long episode, and it was just it was literally downloaded and ready to go, and when I went to edit it, it was just nothing. There was nothing there.
We did have something odd happen while we were recording it.
We did. Yeah, it was actually, it's supposed to be Deborah's week this week, and she, like I said, she had a really good topic, and it was a really interesting episode, and her and I, both Deborah and I, heard in recording a female voice going, well,
They thought it was me. It was not.
yeah, it was the weirdest thing, and I went back to listen to it. Obviously, this episode was got corrupted or whatever. But in the part where we both heard that voice, there is a blip there, not a voice, but a blip. It was the weirdest thing, the sabotage of this episode. But so today we're just gonna come at you with a random stream of consciousness. We're gonna talk about, we got a couple movies to talk about. And talk about some weird current events, maybe, about investigating and stuff like that. So, how are you doing today?
I am hanging in there. I'm having a lazy Sunday. I'm recording in my pajamas.
Yeah, me too. I got
This is a
up
little
this
different for
morning.
us. We don't normally do the morning.
We don't do the morning or the weekends. And so I'm in my pajamas as well, and it's kind of nice, actually. It's nice having pajama day. But
I'm okay with it.
yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm off tomorrow, which is nice. But yeah, so yeah, we got some movies to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the classics. But first, I wanted to pick your brain and see if you've heard. I'm sure you have. But have you heard about the 10-foot tall aliens in Miami?
Actually, no, I have not.
Really? Okay.
Nope.
So a couple weeks ago, right after how many weeks are we into the year? 2, 3 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks into the year, maybe like a week or so ago, there was this mall in Miami. I think it was like a strip mall. Well, like 200 cop cars show up to this. People are running left and right, not knowing what's going on, but everyone that was there claims that they were seeing like these 10-foot tall aliens like blink in and out of existence. But
What?
But the cops say, and if you look it up, everywhere says that it was because 4 teenagers were shooting bottle rockets.
What? How do you
Two,
confuse a bottle rocket for an alien?
200 cop cars showed up there for 4 teenagers with bottle rockets.
Is there video of this? Did anybody? Because we're
There's
selfie
there's
happy.
there's several videos, but it's being like, to me it sounds like it's being spun as like it was, literally we were there to arrest these 4 teenagers. But a lot of the
Four.
video, yeah,
So this news article, NBC News, right, says
yeah,
on Monday, a group of roughly 50 teenagers caused a riot at Bayside Marketplace, an outdoor mall roughly 5 minutes from South Beach, according to Miami Police Department.
yeah. Well, 50. Okay,
First
I
of
thought it
all,
was 4.
when have you ever seen 50 kids hang out anywhere?
Let alone a strip
50
mall.
kids don't go to a mall together. Like, what?
Kids are lucky to have 50 friends.
Right? Kids are looking at 5 friends.
You're right. Uh, yeah. I mean, it just sounds. I mean, it sounds weird, and the fact that everybody that was there that day, nobody has said, "Oh yeah, no, it was these kids fighting or rioting or bottle rockets or whatever." It's all been the same thing, and like it's all over TikTok. It's all over all of that. It's the weirdest thing, and you know what I think it is? I think Project Bluebeam is gonna come into effect.
Oh gosh, well, that brings me to a movie that I was just watching the other day because I had read the book. So Stephen King has a book called The Cell.
Mhm.
Um, and then John Cusack is in the movie.
Mhm.
Um, and have you seen it or
I
read it?
haven't I haven't seen it. I've heard of it, but that's the movie that I was thinking of back in October, whenever when we had that thing go off on our phones.
Yep, and that's exactly it. Everybody's they're in an it starts like they're in an airport, and John Cusack's phone dies. He was on the phone with his wife, and he hadn't been living with his wife for a year, so he's not like completely knowing what's going on there. So he's
Right.
in an airport and he's trying to come home, and everybody's all busy in the airports. They're on their cell phones, and then all of a sudden, like people start foaming at the mouth and like dropping to the ground and twitching and
Yeah.
looking like they're having seizures. And he's fine because he got off the phone. But I mean, that's basically the entire movie that it's coming through.
Yeah. Well, and then you have like all these other movies that are, I don't know, like I feel like Hollywood sometimes tries to send us messages. Like
Right.
in their productions. I don't have Netflix, but there's this movie on Netflix called, oh, what is it called? It's the newest movie with Julia Roberts and Ethan Hawke. Um,
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I just watched that the other night.
but people are talking all about that one, and and it's I feel like Hollywood just tries to send us a lot of messages without sending us a message. Maybe they're trying to send it to the more elite of Hollywood.
Yeah, but I mean, Stephen King, The Cell was a book first. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
and I'm not sure
Yeah.
what year he wrote that. I read that some years back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird,
Or
but
is Stephen King like citizens and making predictions of things to come?
what's funny about that? My husband asked me the other day. He asked me yesterday. He says, "When is this? Do you know when the Super Bowl is?" I said, "I have no idea." And
Let me
I
ask The
only watch
Simpsons.
I I only watch the Super Bowl for commercials, unless it's like one of my favorite teams playing. But he said, "When is the
Well,
Super Bowl?" I
we
said,
only watch for the halftime show, but I don't could care less this year.
"I don't even know who it is.
Um, I'm not even
Is it?
interested. I
Who
uh,
knows?"
Go ahead.
Um, but he goes, "Well, do you know who's playing?" I said, "No, not yet." He said, "Why not? Because it's always rigged." I said, "I don't know. What did the Simpsons say?"
It's Usher this year.
Oh, Usher. Ugh.
Yeah,
Well,
see, don't care.
yeah. But
I feel like the performance has been going downhill.
oh, absolutely. But yeah, he could authors could have some sort of, I mean, Stephen King could
Well,
have some.
actually, so I'm doing like an online class about speaking to spirit, and it says a lot of artists and musicians and writers are basically channeling when they're
Really?
like, spirit gets in their head and just puts it out there. So what if there is a spirit who's trying to warn Stephen King and he's just writing what's in his head?
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
what
mean,
if
I'm sure.
not Nostradamus or whatever is channeling for Stephen King?
Or what if spirit channeled through Nostradamus?
Hmm. Touche,
I mean,
touche.
that's totally possible, and I believe that. I thoroughly believe that. I mean, because we try and grow our abilities, uh and one of the ways that I do that is automatic writing,
Hmm.
and it's just writing down the first thing that comes to your head, which is
Right.
crazy. The fact that 99% of the time our writings all link up together. but um, but yeah, it's just it's totally possible. I mean, there's definitely several books out there that kind of have predictive undertones to them. I
Hmm.
mean, it's
Well, for sure. Even I remember when COVID came out, they started posting pictures of a couple books saying that so and so, maybe it was one of the mediums,
oh
maybe
yeah,
Sylvia Brown, but there was a
Sylvia
couple
Brown,
books
yeah.
that they were highlighting that lined up with predicting COVID.
Well, and the crazy thing about that is, which was spot on, but also the crazy thing is, they, I think it was the same Sylvia Brown book, said that COVID would come and it would stick around for a year or two, which, I mean, it's still here, but it's not as discussed as much.
Right.
And then a new virus would come, and then that would stick around, and then pretty much COVID would be no more. But there
Hmm.
is like a new mysterious virus going around, which is the pneumonia, like the children's pneumonia, pediatric pneumonia, or something like that. Started in China.
Hmm. How come everything starts in China?
Mighty suspicious. I don't know.
What if the aliens are in charge of China?
What if? And this is and this is how the random stream of consciousness episode works. It's just a bunch of what ifs.
What in it? Oh
Um,
God, shot glasses out now.
ooh, Sunday, Sunday fun day. Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting because it really could be. It could be like a lot of warnings and stuff, and the people that look into them are classified as conspiracy theorists or as crazy, you
Hmm.
know. And
Oh, that's like the whole book. Did you ever get a chance to look at that book I recommended to you guys?
the Behold a Pale Horse,
Mhm. Yep.
I didn't. I had found it to listen to, um, and at the time I was right in the middle of a series, and now I'm in the middle of another series, so it's on my list of things to listen to.
Gotcha.
Um, but I
Yeah,
had heard,
your jaw is gonna drop.
yeah, I had heard. I have two books left in this series, and then once that's done, that's on my my listening list. But yeah, I mean, there's also a book from, what was it, early 1900s, late 1800s, something like that, about called Baron Trump. Have you heard about that one?
Mm.
And it's supposedly predicts uh Donald Trump's presidency and stuff like that
For the first time or a second time?
for the first time. Baron Trump's marvelous underground uh journey. So the interest in this book came to be when Donald Trump was elected. Uh or it sparked interest during 2016. Um, and it's about an aristocratic youth bored with his life of luxury in Castle Trump. Searching for adventure, Baron travels to Russia to discover an underground world beneath his feet. He journeys downward to find himself lost in a peculiar setting, surrounded by strange inhabitants and of this new world. The stories follow his adventures and eventful struggles to find his way back to the surface. So
Who's
I
the
don't.
author of this?
Um, who was it? Donald Trump. Uh, 1890s. And it was Ingersoll Lockwood. And it's a children's book. It's recommended for ages 8 to 12. So, I mean, it's just interesting, the predictions and stuff that people can find and whatever.
Oh, for
Um
sure.
yeah, but well, let's dive into talking about some horror classic movies. Um
I like that.
yeah. So I actually watched last night one of the classics, Rosemary's Baby.
Okay. Which,
And this one, go ahead.
nope, go ahead.
Uh, this one, it is not my favorite at all.
No. Mm-mm. And
It
then,
is not.
you know, it's so slow. Like, it's
It
almost painful to
is.
watch this generation.
It's
Like,
it's
our movies
so
are
slow.
so much faster.
It was because everybody's got ADHD now.
Yeah.
Everybody's got ADHD now, but it
It's the
was
same thing like the
so.
kids. Like, if you sit down to watch, like, Bambi, like,
Yeah,
it hurt. Like, it's so painful.
yeah. Like, okay, so this movie is 2 hours long. This movie's 2 hours long, and for those of you who have not seen this movie, uh, spoiler alert.
Because it's in the
But
60s.
it's in the 60s. Um, and basically, this husband and wife, they live in New York. The husband's an actor, and they want to. They're looking for a new apartment, and they find the perfect apartment building. So they go in, they move there, and weird stuff starts happening. There's some weird, creepy neighbors, and just weird stuff starts happening. Well, the husband wants to get better at what he does, get more calls from agents. They ultimately want to move to Hollywood. Well, then fast forward, husband and the wife start hanging out with the creepy neighbors. Husband starts hanging out with them a lot more. Uh Wife gets pregnant, yada yada yada. Turns out she's having the devil's baby. The whole time, living next to them is this group of satanic 70-year-olds, like in a whole satanic cult where it's like all like 60 and 70-year-olds just hanging out, worshiping Satan and
Nothing like watching a bunch of naked
naked
old
old
people.
folks. Yeah. And I mean, it's such a slow movie, but it is a classic, and it's on like the top 10 list of horror movies, because I think ultimately because it kind of gives a window into the idea of what goes on in a satanic cult. And basically they wanted to, so the baby was born, the mom found out that like pretty earlier on in the movie, because the neighbor's wife, I think her name was Minnie, um, kept feeding the wife, who was obviously Rosemary, kept feeding her this weird concoction smoothie every day that had vitamins in it. But in reality, it was like I don't even know. They never really explained what was in it. They said it was like 2 eggs, 2 eggs, milk, and vitamins. That's all they said.
Herbs.
But herbs, yeah. And everybody, it seemed like everybody in New York that was above the age of 60 was in this cult. Like the doctor was in this cult, the dentist was in this cult, all the neighbors in the apartment building were in this cult.
Well, because they were
Um,
trying to direct her to people in their network. It's kind of like Scientology, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
they were only introducing her because they wanted to have her into this bubble of people who are in the cult.
right. So she starts like the first night after she meets the neighbors, she starts having like these really weird dreams. Like I think the first dream, she was in a room and laying in bed and there's a room full of people and she's like, what did she say? She said something about the nun will be mad if I leave my bed or something like that. And then like so she just starts having these weird dreams and the neighbors keep popping in. The neighbors, uh, here I brought you this casserole. Here I brought you this. Eat this. Eat that.
And they just keep
Like,
rubbing her in
yeah, it's all through the food that they're giving her, and her
with the
dreams get
husband.
more. Huh?
With the help of the husband,
Oh, the husband's now in on it.
he's 100% in on it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take him long at all because he's promised with. I mean,
Success.
ultimately, yeah, he gets the promise of success and
Sold
to
his soul to the devil.
what if they weren't Satanists? What if they were just the Illuminati? What if
Well, so it says, so the neighbor Roman, he is actually the son
Mhm.
of a warlock, of
Right.
like the first most powerful warlock.
Right.
So this has been going on like a long, long time.
Yeah. And yeah, like it's just a weird movie. Like I'm sitting here watching it and my husband goes, "What are you watching?" I said, "Rosemary's Baby." He goes, "Why? It's like 40 years old." I said, "It's older than that." But it was just
Well,
it, it
I'm surprised there's not kickback from the church because within minutes they're showing you being inside of the Sistine Chapel, which the movie takes place in New York, so I don't know why they're in Rome all of a sudden.
right.
But they're showing the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel when they're showing her laying on her back. So it goes from the Sistine Chapel to a rape scene of the devil. Like,
Right.
how did the Catholic Church approve this? Because
Exactly.
you can't take.
Exactly.
I mean, in the Sistine Chapel, you can't even take pictures, and they don't allow you to take pictures inside of there.
Yeah.
And they do show. I mean, they must have really went there, not just showed a clip, because there's posters that you can buy with Mia Farrow in the Sistine Chapel from the time that they were filming.
Really?
Hmm?
So they're all like, "Yes, we were in a movie."
I can't make any sense of it.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, the husband wants success. He wants to be a big actor. He wants money. He wants fame. And so he was real quick to say, "Yeah, you know what? Let's do this. I'll give you my child." Because all of a sudden he goes, "You know what? Okay." And then the weird thing was I mean, there's a lot of weird things in this movie, but one of the weird things was he was up for a role. Well, somebody else got the role. Well, then the person who got the role ended up going blind.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so it was right after that that the husband's like, "You know what? I don't need that. Let's go ahead and make a baby." And she was excited and he was just like he was excited too, but it wasn't he had ulterior motives. And
Oh, for
then
sure.
so she ends up giving birth to this devil baby. And they like everybody tells her, "Oh, the baby died. Oh, the baby died." The whole time they're not letting her leave the house. They're not letting her get out of bed. They're not letting her do anything.
And she knows
And
it's not true. She's telling them,
yeah,
"You're lying. You're lying. You took it.
yeah.
You're
And
witches."
then she finds like a secret passageway from the from her closet to the neighbor's closet,
Mm-hmm.
and she goes in there with the biggest kitchen knife I've ever seen, and like she's gonna do something with it, and they're all like all the whole cult standing around this baby, this devil baby, and like she goes in, she drops the knife down, and everybody's like shocked, and the husband's over here trying to hide. It was just a weird thing, and then all of a sudden it was like she had given birth to this child, and then people were like just now brushing her off. I don't know. It was a weird movie, but then it just ends. I didn't
Yeah,
like that it
it's
just
it's never
ended.
been one of my it's never been one of my favorites.
No. Yeah, no. On a
I mean,
scale of
it didn't scare me or anything. You know what I mean? Like it was more disturbing, I think, than anything else.
yeah, I think it was like a fever dream watching it. It was the most disturbing part was when they were all the old Satanist people were naked around the bed, and you got the devil coming in with like some creepy
They say poo
scales.
poo in it an awful lot too.
They
More than one actor says poo poo in it. Roman says poo poo. Guy says poo poo.
that was like the key word. How many times? How many times do they say this word? Yeah, it was. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a terrible movie.
So
So
how did it
honest,
become a classic then? You know what I mean? Like,
I think
they just
I
didn't have
think
enough choices at the time.
no, I think the director's name had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's honestly what I think. I think, although I I often wonder, like movies like this, like we've heard movies like The Poltergeist and um, The Exorcist and stuff like that. We've heard that stuff. Um, we've heard that on scene on set. Uh, a lot of those films are cursed. Well,
Hmm.
this movie didn't quite escape that curse either.
Okay.
So, so uh, during the right after the premiere or right after the filming of it, the director's wife, Sharon Tate,
Hmm.
was murdered.
And they actually do say so. I can't say that it's confirmed. Like I found a couple little nuggets where they said it's probably like how they talk about the Wizard of Oz. They said that in one of the scenes where there's a crowd that Tate is in the crowd.
Really?
She makes like a little cameo.
Hmm. But yeah. So
So does that
honest,
happen because she was in the movie?
I mean, it didn't
Possibly in the
happen.
movie?
It didn't happen to anybody else, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
maybe only
I
it
don't
only has
know.
to be one person.
True, true. I don't know. Maybe they saw her. Maybe they saw her and were like, "That's the one.
Like
That's
her.
it. That's it." But on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give this movie?
4.
You're very generous. It's a 1 for me. I hate it. It's a
4, like
terrible movie.
because you said like I guess it has like it had big actors. It had big
Yeah,
person in it. You know what I mean?
yeah. It was. I mean, yeah. The
Mhm.
concept. The concept would be interesting. I'd honestly, I would like to see it remade in modern times.
Have they not
Just
yet? I think
no.
I think they did a
There was
TV
a
series.
sequel. There was a sequel of the movie too,
Let's
and the
see, this is
sequel.
from in 2014. They're talking about remaking Rosemary's Baby into a 4-hour miniseries.
Oh,
So whether
but
that
did they?
happened or not,
There is a sequel to the movie, and it is called. Oh, what is it called? Something after Rosemary, or what happened to Rosemary's Baby, or something.
they did make it. If you look at IMDb or whatever, it was a miniseries in 2014.
Mm.
that was rated 5.5 out of 10 with
Oh,
5,799 votes.
oh.
Um,
So it's still it's along the same lines as the original. They made a they made a sequel. It's called Look What Happened. Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Um, basically about the child the and Rosemary, and basically the child goes missing and the cult blames Rosemary for that. So they
well,
try and
it's essentially
possess
the
her.
plot of the newest season of American Horror Story too.
Yeah.
It is. Um,
Yeah.
Emma Roberts gets pregnant, and she notices like some woman following her, and then all these weird things start happening. But it's basically a play on Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
It's season 12.
Yeah,
That's the
I
one that has Kardashian in it.
oh. Oh, I'll be sure to not watch it.
Oh, and the funny thing is, people were saying she was actually the only one making the show. She
Really?
plays mhm. She plays her agent.
Huh. But yeah, no. I look, y'all listening. First of all, thank you because this is a random episode and I know that. Um, but y'all listening, let us know if you have watched this movie. If not, definitely go watch it just so you can
If you can
be
sit through it.
if you can sit through it, definitely go watch it. Um, so you have some context as to what we're talking about. It's on I think it's on Paramount
Paramount
Plus.
Plus. That's the only
Yeah.
place I found it.
Um yeah, and I actually like doing movie discussions.
I'm
I
down
think
for
this
this.
I think it's
You know how I
fun.
feel about horror movies.
If we can't if there's ever a time we don't have a topic or a guest, let's do a movie discussion.
Hmm.
Um you know, it'd be cool, and I think it would be cool to like be able to figure out how to plan, like if we had something like a Patreon or something,
Hmm.
and like planning like a movie night with people that follow us on there.
That'd be cool.
Do like a virtual movie night where we all watch the same movie and then maybe have a discussion about it afterwards,
That's
or
cool.
um or like a book club on there or something where we read some of
I
like the
don't have
classic.
time to read right now. I have
I
a
can,
stack of books on my desk waiting for me to get to them.
as long as I can listen to it, I'll be fine.
So, in my car, I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, see, I've listened to books. I'm on a book kick right now in the car. I'm listening to a zombie series right now. Love
Nice.
it. It's pretty good.
I did find one a more interesting thing that I had never heard before. Um, and again, it's not something that's proven, but I thought it was interesting. So they're saying, um, oh, I didn't screen. Okay. So it says, although it's been widely claimed that the Church of Satan's founder and author of the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey, played the uncredited role of the devil during this impregnation scene and also served as technical advisor for the film, it's highly unlikely that these claims are true. There has always been an attempt to link LaVey to the film and to subsequent Manson murders because of LaVey's ex-follower Susan Atkins turned out to be a member of the Manson family who ultimately murdered Polanski's young wife Sharon Tate. Now, can
Huh.
you imagine if any part of that is true and
Yeah.
Anton LaVey was on that set and so was Sharon Tate?
Yeah, that's
And then she ends up getting murdered by one of his followers.
oh, bum bum.
Have you ever seen the Satanic Bible?
I have not, but I had a guy come into my old library and say, "Do you guys have the Satanic Bible?" And I had never had anybody look at me with a straight face and ask me for something like that. And I'm just like, I kind of, I didn't mean to, but I kind of just looked at it and was like, no.
Oh,
And I'm like, I'm sorry, no, we don't carry that.
I've actually read it,
Have
but
you?
it was long. So I had when I was growing up, so we're probably talking late 80s, early 90s. I had a cousin that had cancer He was bedridden for a while, and he was like a heavy metal kid, you know.
Right.
Um, and he had the book, and when I was staying at his house when he was sick, and he gave me the book, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. So I'm just reading. I didn't know what it was,
He's like,
but I
here
did read
for
it.
you.
Yeah, yeah. He was like
Yeah.
18. I was probably like 12. I'm like, I'll read it.
Is it like an actual Bible, like our Bible, or is it like
No, it's a book.
it's just a reading?
Like I said, like I don't even really remember too much about it. But I remember as like I would hear his name as I got older, and I was like, what the hell was I reading?
I,
No, that's not
yeah.
a make believe book.
I didn't make that up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would read anything like that, even if it was just to read it. I don't know. I tried to watch The Exorcist last night, but then I got tired and fell asleep. That's a good one though. The Exorcist. Um, yeah. Y'all let us know in the comments if y'all ever watched The Exorcist.
Now, Exorcist I do like, and I can remember the first time I ever watched it. And I watched it at my friend's house with a bunch of other people in the dark, popcorn. And then I had to walk 20 minutes home alone at 11 o'clock at night. And then I did not turn off the lights in my apartment for like 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
When I was younger, my dad was an on-the-road truck driver, so I was alone all the time by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm a teenager all by myself. My dad's on the road, and I'm in this apartment now, and nope, lights did not go out. And then I had something really weird happen. Um, I used to have a ring that I had gotten from my mother that she had gotten from her mother.
Uh huh.
And the story was that my grandmother actually found it in a movie theater, like way back in the day, like when she was a teenager, like some kind
Right.
of theater. She found the ring, ugliest ring, and it was small. Like on a normal adult, it would probably only fit a pinky, and it had a face of like an animal this way, and if you turned it the other way, it had another face. But when you look more at it, it's the face on the statue in the beginning of The Exorcist.
What?
Yes, and shortly after that, that ring disappeared.
Oh, that's weird.
It was the ugliest thing ever, but it is the face in the beginning of the movie where it says good, like good versus evil or whatever.
Oh, that's weird. That's
Mhm.
really weird.
Kind of wish I had it now.
The first time I ever watched it, I was at my I was having a movie night with my aunt and uncle, and we were watching it. We were having a horror movie night, so we watched Rosemary's Baby, we watched The Exorcist, we watched a couple other like horror films, like modern day horror films.
Right.
And I think I was in college. That's the first time it was my first year of college, and I had never seen it before, but I love scary movies. And this was 2009, so it was or 2008, 2009 before streaming services really kicked off. Um Netflix was like the only thing, and that they still sent you the DVDs. um but we were watching that, and it freaked me out because spiritual stuff like that does freak me out. The fact
Hmm.
that you just never really know what's you never really know what's real, what's not, what can cause things to wake up, but so stuff like that has always freaked me out. And I remember watching this movie and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying." Because
Well, unlike Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist is actually based on a true story.
right. Yeah,
Um,
and yeah, wasn't it a boy?
it was a boy in 1949. William Peter Blatty's novel is based on a real life 1949 exorcism of a young boy known by the pseudonym Ronald Doe. The story became national news and caught the interest of Blatty, who was a student at Georgetown University at the time, hence the change in location.
Mm, yeah. I I liked that movie. Well, and it was crazy because last night, like I said, I was trying to watch it, trying to get through it, and but I ended up falling asleep. But even watching and hearing the beginning credits gave me anxiety because I knew, and it's not
It's one of the first
for,
movies I actually remember scaring me.
yeah, and it's not one of those like jump scare movies. It's one of those like it's a spiritual thriller. Like because this stuff can
I have
probably,
I do have a bit of a hard time with the crucifix scene though. That's
oh my
that's a little
god.
disturbing beyond me.
Oh my god. That is I remember seeing that. I was like, "What the hell
Yeah.
is going on?"
When
And
Antonio was a teenager, he was going to go watch movies at some girl's house. A group of kids were going to go and they were going to bring movies. And he wanted to bring this. I'm like, you know what? It's been like some years since I've watched this. Let me just rewatch this before you go bring it to somebody's house. And then that scene came and I was like, oh, yeah, no,
no, not
no.
taking it.
If you want to watch this over there, her mother needs to tell me it's okay because no.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's a great movie though. It's a really good movie. It's to me it's probably one that just still to this day I've watched it, one and a half times now, and it's still to this day like just freaks me out.
Yeah, for sure.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give that one?
I'm going to go with the 9.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
probably right
I
there
like
with
that
you.
one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think and that's because it's based on a true story, because it's spiritual warfare. Like Rosemary's Baby, yes, was spiritual warfare, but it was more like being seduced by the devil, and you know.
Yeah.
But like
Um,
for us and doing what we do, it's The Exorcist is very, we don't exercise people. We don't exercise. I don't exercise myself.
Nor do we want to come anybody who is possessed.
I
We
don't
like haunted
run.
houses, not haunted.
I don't run. So if you ever see me running, you better run too. Yeah, no, we like haunted houses, not haunted people. We don't, we don't seek out that negative energy, but we know that there's possibility that we'll come across it. And I mean, but the idea that spiritual warfare idea has always freaked me out. And I think that's part of that's part of why I became so interested in the paranormal side of things, not to seek that stuff out, but to answer my own questions. Like,
Right.
and I think like because we know we know from doing our own research, from doing, a lot of people go around and go, "Oh, you communicate with ghosts." Those are demons, right? And a,
Oh,
a lot of people automatically assume communicating with spirit is communicating with Satan. And that's not the case. And so there's already this negative, energy surrounding that. But
but yet
we
those movies are some of the most popular ones that there are. And
right.
like they did such a good job on the Pope's exorcism or the Pope's.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what it is? Pope's Exorcist
Yeah.
or Pope's Exorcism?
Pope's
And the new
exorcist.
Exorcist, I thought that was good too.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
but
the
I
Pope's
mean
one better, but
like I think that based off of personal experience, and then based off of the way Hollywood portrays the spirit realm, it's always portrayed as a negative light, or in a negative light. And that's not the case.
right.
There's no, like, that's just not the case. Not everything is evil. Not everything. I mean, spirits are like people. I mean, they were people at one point. Uh, some people were good, some people were bad. But do I think that every ghost is a demon? No. Do I think everything out there is shrouded in blackness? No. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I definitely give that one a 9 on the
Well, and that The Exorcist is actually the first horror film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar.
which is crazy
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, yeah, that's you know what a good one was, but it was really gruesome. Um, the Rob Zombie movies.
The Halloween ones, the remakes, or
No,
the other
no, the oh, what the hell are they called? The older ones.
one.
With the
Gosh,
clown, with the creepy ass clown.
I know, and his wife is always in the movies.
Yeah.
Let's see, you got the Lords of Salem. Um,
Was that it? Lords of Salem? I don't know, but
that's
those were
probably
pretty
one of
good.
his most popular ones.
Yeah, those were pretty good. Three from Hell was good. Lords of Salem, yeah, that's what it was.
Uh, there's a few horror
The
movies I
devil,
absolutely cannot watch.
the Devil's Rejects. That's what it was.
Okay. Um, I cannot watch the new Hills Have Eyes, the remake.
There's a remake.
I don't know that I've ever watched the original, but the one that has the girl from Lost in it, but
Is
again,
that
I
a
think I just,
remake?
yeah.
Huh. I've seen
Um,
that one, and that part was very
it's
disturbing.
traumatizing.
Wrong Turn is weird for me. I can't watch that one. Children of the
Um,
Corn freaks me out.
that one doesn't bother me. The
Just
Hills Have Eyes, and
creepy
oh,
children.
and not that I don't think the Terrifier movies. I hate those things. They're stupid. They're like there's no plot. I mean, it's just gore.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Anything for me. Anything with mutant mutated people freaks me out. Hills Have Eyes. Wrong
You know what,
Turn.
man? I might have to try to watch the original one. So the original Hills Have Eyes was from 1977, and it says it's described as one of the scariest movies.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how on point the remake is with the original, so maybe I'll have to see if that's streaming on anything and watch it today.
Huh. Let me know if you find it, because I'll try and watch it too. But on that note, I think we've rambled long enough. What do you think?
Yeah, let's see some of the horror movies for the next time.
We've rambled.
Fun fact. My
Uh,
son's middle name is Gage from Pet Cemetery. I
is
named
it?
my son after a dead boy.
Is that you really did?
Yeah.
That's cool. That one, okay. That one's for another time. We'll save Pet
Yeah.
Cemetery for another time. But we could probably go on for hours about movies. But
Hmm.
I hope y'all have enjoyed listening to our random stream of consciousness. And yeah, I've enjoyed this episode. I think we should do like just discussion episodes every so often.
Oh yeah,
Just
I'll talk books and movies all day long.
sprinkle in some random streams of consciousness every once in a while. But
Let us know if you like it.
yeah, let us know how y'all like this episode. Um, again, it is random, but thank y'all for listening. And until next time, y'all come back now. You hear?